Hi, guys. Welcome to the Post 1960 podcast. And I am Ruth Obots Deme. And this is
Adedumola Adesoji Martins. Ruth, how have you been? How has 2023 been for you?
2023 has so many aspects. What aspect exactly are you talking about?
I'm talking about the economic part of it.
Oh, um, it's been a lot.
Okay.
Honestly, it's been. I don't know. I don't know the word to use. I'm trying not to scare people, but like it's been terrifying.
I'll understand.
It's been terrifying because it's just crazy how you can go to the market today. I mean, the year is coming to an end, right? We all know that, but like throughout this year, I don't think there is anything that has had stable pricing. Even Gary doesn't like the price of Gary has gone up.
True.
Everything has gone up. So I don't know. The economy has just been crazy throughout this year. I want to say I hope that 2024 is better, but I don't even know if that is I don't even know if that is something I should even say because we've been hoping since the beginning of the year and now it's the end. So
That's true, though.
yeah.
That's true. But for me, I think I experienced similar stuff with you. Like, you go to the market today, and what you want to purchase has changed in price. So you cannot even say you want to plan for anything. But for some funny reasons here, I feel 2023 is like a sacrificial year for us as a nation because we're having a new government in quotes. And I'm kind of positive that moving forward, there are some things that will be done and I think will be implemented.
You really think so?
I don't
No,
have
no,
it.
no.
In as much as there are governments and you have to say that they're actually doing some things. Like, for example, we have real operating in Lagos. Little by
Okay.
little, we are seeing those infrastructure in place and all this stuff. So, and we are having contracts, we are signing deals with nations around the world.
Well, that is not a lie. But at the same time, okay, let me tell you this. Did you hear about the 50% price slash on transportation that you know
I,
recently?
I thought it was April Fool in December.
Um, you know how hard it is to actually implement rules like that, all right? Because you're trying to reduce the rate of transportation, but the the price rate of fuel has not gone down. So how do you expect these people to take what you have said into consideration? Fuel is still so expensive, and you want to slash transportation by 50%. Of course, no. A lot of people in Nigeria generally, everybody's, I don't know the word. Is it greedy? Everybody's just trying to
Their own
look at
self.
for their own self. And then in such a situation, we already know that even we as individuals, I don't want to say them because I'm also a Nigerian, we as individuals, we inflate prices of things and it doesn't come down. So imagine the government saying there is a
Percent
50%
slash.
price slash. Fuel is still expensive.
Okay.
The usual human greed is still
It's
there,
still there.
and you expect this bill that you have passed, you expect it to just take off at the snap of a finger. That's not going to happen. They
When I
just
saw that, yeah, I even think it was their own transport station system. Let's say like Lagos State BRT and any other thing that has to do with governments. I was thinking that was what they were going to slash. Because that's the only way it can be effective. If it's going to be for private business owners, it's not realistic at all.
at all.
Yeah.
At all. And then we will now even leave this economical part, and we should now even dabble a little bit into this security security in Nigeria. Okay, you know what has your experience been like security wise, through the year.
It has been on God, to be honest. Coming from somebody that actually jog very early in the morning, I have to be conscious that I have to drop everything that is valuable to me when I'm going out here. I have to make sure that I am very watchful. At the same time, where you expect security to be in the morning, you don't find them there. At night, you don't find them there. So you really see them during like normal 9 to 5 hours. The men's is like 11 o'clock. And so those places you're meant to see police,
Yeah.
you won't see them there. Places that you're not meant to see them, that's where you see them. Things like that. So I feel there's a way we can beef up our security and consider things like that. For me, it's not just in Lagos. I feel like when you are traveling along the route, the fact that I want to go to Enugu now, or I want to go to Kano, and I'm scared that nobody should kidnap me.
Okay, so I don't. Even just thinking about it makes me feel sad.
Okay.
All this laughing is not real. It's not real.
You're in Nigeria now. You're surfing and
Yeah,
smiling.
no.
You're used to it.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why. Okay, here's an instance, right? Somebody, I would say a colleague or a classmate of mine went for service. Right? That guy was kidnapped, and it took a while before she was released. I don't know how it happened, if they were able to raise the money, or I don't even know. And only God knows the horrible things they do to people that they kidnap. And it is so bad that a lot of people don't want to travel. Because most times, okay, let's say a lot of people like going to the east, especially the Igbos. They always like to spend their Christmas, in the village with, grandpa, grandma, from their mother's side, from their father's side, and all that. And imagine not wanting to go. Let's say God is kind. They are not just, the usual middle class. Maybe they are, a little bit above average, and they can afford the very, very unethical bus transportation. The prices are outrageous. Let's just say they can afford it. Then that is aside, you now have to start thinking if you're going to get to the village in
Or
one
not.
piece.
Or not.
You start you start having to
Kabashing.
contemplate.
Yeah.
Should I really go? Is it worth it? Did they kidnap somebody yesterday? Is there any letter that they're going to kidnap somebody else? It's it's appalling.
So what do you think we can do as a nation to beef up that?
First off, I just feel like the government should prioritize what is actually important. Being security. I mean, these days there are more touts on the road than drivers. The other day, somebody asked me for money. I was in a cab, and the person asked me for money, all these small boys and whatnot, and I refused to give him because these are trying times. I gave a lady that she was carrying a baby, and as the cab was about to move, he started hitting the glass. He almost broke the glass and was shouting at the top of his voice, insulting me.
Some level of entitlement to your stuff.
And I kept thinking, the driver was so upset. And I kept thinking, what if I had given this guy the money? What would he use it for? Probably use it to smoke, drink. All these kind of people. The government should just pack them away.
So
Give them jobs or something. Maybe menial jobs or something. Because to an extent, it is joblessness that causes you to
that was about to come in. Like, I'm thinking of, we have a lot of young people in Nigeria, and the provision for them, most of the time I don't see it, but it's beginning to look like that, kind of.
It's starting to look like how?
Like in the context of the youth, let's say you are doing the NYC stuff,
Yeah.
they give you this integration of while you're saving, you can actually learn some menial stuff, some skills with it. I think that will empower us. And provision for the youth has to be important. We are the backbone of this nation. places whereby you have to have space like youth empowerment. You want to be a tech kind of person. There has to be an hub for tech people. There has to
Yeah.
be an hub for creative people.
Yeah.
Even artistical creative people, there has to be up for them. If we have spaces like that, if we have spaces like that, we won't have issues where we have people like that on the streets. I think, and I know, let's say some of us are privileged. If our parents could not afford those things, there's a tendency for us to also be that particular young boy. I could have been that boy, conductor for me, changing me, like giving my change. I could have
Yeah.
been the guy taking people's cash. But if there's like a provision for the youths, for them to say, okay, if I thought you're from a poor background or so, but you can come to this academy, you can come to this tech place, and those
Yes.
things will reduce a whole lot of things. A hub for the youth, and okay, you're at the age of 18, you're done with secondary school, you want a particular skill set, and let's see, let's
Yeah.
imagine you don't even want to go to school, but that set of having skill sets, a hub for each specialization or the different
Yeah.
categories, it will solve a whole lot of problems. I want to have a lot of youths dragging you, and you don't want
Yeah.
to be around your area and somebody saying, hey, come, I have me change. Come and give me thing. And see, fine girl,
Ah.
fine boy, things like that will be discouraged. So
Jesus
I think a hub
Christ.
for youth development will be very, very important. The other thing I
Yeah.
was thinking about is economic diversification. We are so based on oil as a nation. And one of the bits I was going through, there's the name of this bank. They actually loan a lot of funds to people.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember Bank of Industry, and I
Yeah.
realized that one of the major, based on their data, one of the major stuff that is giving us money now as a nation is no longer oil. It's now agriculture.
Is that what?
Agriculture.
Oh yeah.
So I think we are doing that effectively. But one thing I want us to do is to do more of that. Let us invest heavily in tech spice of things. Let's invest in more agriculture, bringing youths, those youths that we mentioned again in the streets,
Yeah.
taking them to places like the particular program that is going on currently is run by MasterCard. And what they do is like they teach you how to farm, and they give you like six people a plot, 1 acre of land rather. So you guys can farm. At the same time, any products you make from that particular land, you can sell them back to them.
Oh. Oh
You
wow.
can sell them back to them. So that's a nice initiative. So if you have initiative like that, that that empowers the youth more, that create avenue for them, we would have first of all, we're going to have the population whereby we have more productive people, more
Yes.
skilled people,
Yes.
and we won't have touts moving on the street of Lagos and things like that.
I don't think touts can just be totally eradicated.
But it can be submerged to a
It
certain
can be
degree.
minimized,
Yeah.
but not totally eradicated, because the truth is, as much as you give people, we can't say we would give people
Create avenue. Yeah.
opportunities, create avenues for people to be better and whatnot. There are still some people that still would not take it. They would still not be interested.
Laziness.
They would still want to be on the streets. They would still want to beg. They would still want to ruffle people for money. So I don't think it can totally be eradicated. I think it can only just be
Submerge.
reduced.
Okay.
And also the fact that you said it is now agriculture, it reminds me of a I don't know, it was not a script, right? It was a documentary.
Okay.
It's a documentary that I did, right? At well, it was for program, and if it was good enough, or if it is good enough, you get funding for it. And I wrote about how cows now. Obviously, everybody knows cows, but I don't think we think deeply about how they affect the economy. We just see them, oh, yeah, it's cows. I just cow now, it's cow. But they play a major role, agriculturally speaking, economically speaking, because that is one major source of, I don't know, um, revenue, income, livestock, because from the meat to down to their bones can be used.
Even
So I just think that the thing you said about agriculture now being the you know the
Backbone.
best or the backbone
Hmm.
of
Becoming.
economy, revenue, and whatnot. I think it is very true. Very, very true, right? And I think the government should, or our government rather, should focus, or try to spread our defocus to
Hmm.
other things that
Okay.
can, yield revenue and not just oil.
When I was in secondary school, concerning your concerning your cow study,
Yes.
I used to represent my school for fifth and all this science stuff. And one of those stuff we saw was a particular lady was able to use cow dung for electric gas
She
to
was
cook.
able to use
She was
what?
able to use like cow dung.
Cow
Like
dung?
yeah, the I can use
I know
to use
what cow
that
dung is.
to use that to actually power the gas to actually cook. They were able to convert the maintain inside of that
It's a
cow.
lie.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of things you can get from cows. A whole lot of things you can get, like the bones for experimentation. One of those things I also want us to do, in as much as we're talking about the government, if there's a way we can have a synergy between the governmental body and also private body. So that let's say today wants to invest heavily in agricultural products. Things like seedling has to be considered. Research into that has to be considered. And these are things that the government can't do by themselves. We have to have some privatization body come into place
Yes.
to make sure these particular
Yes.
things grow.
I don't know how interested private bodies would be
They are.
to conjoin with the government because between you and I, we know how um our government can be, right? It can start off, maybe very nicely,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of the day, they might give them a reason to, not to be so happy about accepting that hand that they brought.
Okay.
Because sometimes it might not even necessarily be the people at the top. It might just be the person in charge of that particular section
Mm-hmm.
not being straightforward, because of, wanting to hide or embezzle funds. They're not straightforward. That's why I think most people will just it's not like they haven't seen governmental, associations and whatnot, but they'll just rather be on their own. Reasons best known to them. Because maybe they might have tried on a smaller scale, and then, the feedback they get is not so great, and they just, what, I think I'd rather do this alone. I think I'd rather do this on my own. So I don't know how far that will go, but it's a good idea regardless. But yeah, that's just about it.
One of the things I also like to emphasize more is communities accepting companies that wants to bring innovation to them instead of fighting them. There are some time whereby you want to do something in a particular community. Let's say I want to create a research center for the children of Omogwo. That's not a place, it doesn't exist.
Children of
But children of Omogwo, it doesn't exist. And I go into a particular city called a Show, it doesn't exist either. And one thing I observe is there's this thing that you see, oh, money there. Like if you can create a particular business in that environment that will
It's,
benefit even they themselves, they tend to like fight those ideas and all those things. Have you experienced stuff like that before?
okay, this particular statement reminds me of when I still used to live at my former place. Most people don't know the place because every time I tell somebody, I grew up at a Janky, they're like, eh, where's
Of course, I know Janiki.
that? I'm surprised
I do.
actually because people are like, where is that? Is that on the island? I'm like, what do you mean? Okay, but I used to live there. Then there was a period where I went to a certain church,
Okay.
and we had to pass that Agbara Ogun State road. The road was so bad. The, I cannot overemphasize how bad the roads were, right? I don't know if it is better now because I had not been there in a very very long time, but when I was coming back from that church, I started hearing that, they wanted to fix the road. Somebody big enough to cover fixing the entire road wanted to fix the road. But the Omonile people kept saying no, they don't want that, they would rather not, and literally chased away maybe the representative that was sent to probably tell them about the idea. So it's crazy. It
No.
really is, it happens. I think I don't think there's anyone that has not seen that. Even when I'm on set, when I'm acting, sometimes maybe we want to shoot an outside scene or something. You want to use the environment. And you should bring money. You should bring which money? Do you know if do you know if it is a if it is a non-funded movie, but you don't care about it? Just bring money regardless. I mean, it's
But
really crazy, but it happens every day, every day. So
in the video, that's actually a valid statement. I think moving forward, things like that has to go down to a certain degree. I think we have to have this CD. The way we have CD in Lagos is whereby every local government communicates to their people. Things like that has to be said to all those people. Like talk to your chairman, your ballet, your local
yeah,
heads, your
yes,
commissioner. Sorry, your
yes.
councillor and the likes. One thing I also want to talk about is the policy. As a business person operating in Nigeria, is like today I want to start selling rice. Or I want to start planting rice. In other nations, as a farmer, when you want to borrow money to do business, they borrow money at let's say negative interest rate like Europe and likes, so that you are feeding the nation. They give you things like fertilizer. They make sure the environment is okay for you. Sometimes they give you like in South Africa, there was a time whereby if you want to do anything tech related for the economy, they provide a space whereby you can get an office space. At the same time, you have 5 years that you're not going to pay anything like tax and all those things.
Oh,
So, and every business that can survive 3 years, 4 years, as stands to a particular level, if you survive 5 years, that means you're now fiscally fit, and now
yeah.
you can contribute positively to the economy. What do you think as a nation we have to do when it comes to our policies? Because sometimes when I look at the policies we have on ground, it's not favorable enough.
I just, like I said earlier, right? If you're going to make policies, we should first start off prioritizing what is important. Everything boils down to priority. I mean, I saw the other day that a woman was jailed for something. It was not even clear, but it was something minute that you know. Uh, I will not say they could be lenient with, but it is not
It was too
as
ash.
it was not as important as they took it.
Okay.
This is the government I'm talking about. But like the things that are actually important, they would, just, act oblivious to it. Just, turn a blind eye when we can, or when they can
Okay.
choose to prioritize, okay, this is what should be done, this is important, this is important. State those points and implement them with strong hand.
Okay.
That's just it, basically.
Speaking of policies again, before we move forward, there was this situation that happened one time. A particular guy called, like a particular tech slash logistic company called GoCada, whereby they purchased a lot of bikes to be used on Lagos Road, and all of a sudden something just came up, and we had to sweep that particular part of the business. Like, it was no longer accepted in some part of Lagos to use bikes and all
Yes.
those things. There should be a clear playbook for people to operate. There should be a particular theory whereby you are not tweaking laws. For example, Yabo Ojo, she operates in your sector. She was saying they tax on a particular stuff, and there was no clear specification on why this tax is like this, why it's like this. I feel they should give us a proper
A
playbook,
proper breakdown.
a proper breakdown. A lot of people that do business say taxes. There's a tax you actually write, and there's one they say this is what it is. There are things that are not clear. You should
Yeah.
allow us to have a playbook whereby, okay, this is what you were doing. If you want to start planting rice, this is the way we play here, and we won't squeeze, we won't tweak this knob, we won't make this like we should don't. Things should be favorable for us to grow
Yes.
and for us to
Yes.
compete in the world market. What do you think about things like that in most situations
Well,
concerning business?
I think you're not wrong.
Okay.
You're actually right because I mean, why or why would, let's say for instance, I'm getting paid a certain amount, and from that certain amount, let's say 30% or 50% is being pulled out, and government telling me, oh, they need it, I should do it. Okay, fine. Obviously, you're the government, you're bigger than me. I just might do it, but like, what is the reason? What is the breakdown? What am I paying for? That's what makes a lot of countries, right? A lot of countries that they do pay tax, and they see what their taxes, they see what their taxes are working for, right? They see what their taxes are working for, security, police, maybe water, the house, and
You know
things
why,
like
and you
that.
know
You
you are
know
paying for,
what
and this is the reason why I'm getting this. This is the
exactly,
service I'm getting for.
exactly.
Not
That
just
is just it.
not just being bullied to take about money and all this
And they
stuff.
would always give you the breakdown. They will always tell you, this is it.
Accountability.
Yes, they are always very accountable. This is what this is for. This is what that is for.
Okay.
I think before you even maybe, let's say, get an apartment, your mortgage or whatever, there's usually a breakdown. So you understand what you're getting into. But most of the times here, they don't,
You don't really know what you're getting into.
what? And then sometimes, even then, not knowing is beside. Then after not knowing now, you just, they won't even inform you. You don't know, okay, your tax is piling up as an individual. Maybe you have one big business. It is piling up. You don't know. You're just happy that your business is going well, and and whatnot. And then four,
Yeah.
5, 10 years later,
IRS comes.
yeah, your own tax. How?
How?
How? And they start mentioning millions to you. Like,
How did I? How much I get? What am I
do you
selling?
get
What
how
am I
much I
selling?
get?
But that's true. Still in line in this business aspect of things. For the past 2 years or so, there has been a global war indirectly. You have Ukraine fighting war on more fronts.
Yeah.
You have Israel fighting war at a particular front. And one thing I actually observe is there's a cost to effect of things. If one thing affects this particular nation, it affects this other nation. There's this global economic trends that affects a lot of things. And one of those things that came with Ukraine was Russia and Ukraine. That would like to know, they are one of the biggest supplier of wheat products. The agricultural sector of Ukraine and Russia is extremely solid globally. If you look at Nigeria, they supply Nigeria. As a matter of fact, before they bombed their gas line and all those things in Russia, they supplied Europe with their gas to actually power their economy. And that's why when they blew up that particular point, there was this issue whereby there was a spike in price
Yes.
of electricity, and now they have to source their gas from nations like America. So their supply chain of Russia to Europe has been destroyed. Now we have a supply chain from America. There's this trend I observe, and I feel I'm using the word feel in the context because this country provide us with, and we import those things to actually manufacture products for our own communities. Let's say like people like Bois, people like Dangote, people like Flour Mill. They basically import all these flours to actually provide food for ourselves. How can we as a nation insulate ourselves to a particular point whereby we don't feel the weight of these external bodies affecting our economy and also our forex?
I think the best thing is, well, it's not going to be easy.
Sure.
It's not going to be easy, but I think the best thing is to focus on ourselves. Focus on what we are capable of, right? There is oil, there is agriculture, coal, all those things. Should focus more on, what we can do for us. And I think, we should even slow down on the exportation and just maybe try to be a bit self-made. It's not easy. It's not going to be an easy feat, but what's the harm in trying?
That's beautiful. You know, one thing I observe, and I like Nigerian companies, in as much as the nation is not favoring us in a certain way, we are still able to do business in different ways. When that issue happened in Ukraine and Russia, There are companies like Bois that actually started producing wheat in mass. We getting our sugars now. We are having, as we speak now, they are even trying to. I'm not trying to endorse any company. I'm just trying to look at, okay, in as much as we are talking about the problems we are facing, there are solutions that we are getting with this private company, and that's
Yes.
why I said the government can't do that alone. We need private bodies. We need venture capitalists. We need banks. We need a lot of people to come
Investors.
into this space too, and we have the talent here to make things happen, and that's one of the things this podcast is all about. And our expectation for 2024, with all these things we've said so far, what are your expectations for 2024? Like your expectation
I
for
expect the
2024?
Lord to bless me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fair enough. Oh my god.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Let's be more realistic. Uh. Well, like I said, I don't know. I don't want to use the word hope too much, but like we can only hope. But well, I really hope that the government take the masses into more consideration next year. I also hope that they understand the importance of we as citizens, because well, this year it was almost as if
You can't plan your life.
you can't plan your life. You're not that important, and you hear they bought this, money
Yeah,
for
a
that,
yacht.
money for and
Yeah.
did not say anything.
I'm just what you saw in the news. Exactly.
Money for this, money for that, when these are monies that could be implemented
Into all those things.
into employment, into different tiers of the economy. So next year I really hope it is
Okay.
better.
For me, my expectation for the year is for the year to come 2024. I'm actually expecting a whole lot economically, because I'm seeing what Nigerian companies are doing. I'm seeing what my mates are doing in
Don't
farming.
compare yourself to those people.
I said my mates. I'm talking about, when I use the word my mates, I'm not talking about governments. I'm talking about what we are doing as a people, like my fellow youths are doing. And also, I like to look at Nigerian companies and the way they operate.
Okay.
And I like to look at the way they expand. And for 2024, we are going to have a lot of expansion in places like the agricultural sector. We have companies.
Hopefully.
There are things in place already. There are things in place. We are seeing Lagos State governments investing in other places to make sure that rice is being planted properly. They did that last year, and we are expecting more of things like that to come.
Yes.
I'm fine. I'm expecting for us to find a balance in our forex so that the dollar won't affect our economy to a certain degree, so that we have a way of planning our life, and we that like to import products to make other stuff won't have issues like that. So I'm expecting a lot of infrastructure for 2024. I'm expecting agricultural expansion. I'm expecting tech to grow more than what it is now, and most importantly, our entertainment industry, the way they are selling us out there. I'm hoping to see more of that. So those are my own expectations for 2024.
All right. Okay. You've been asking me questions since. Let me just ask you one. Right. We've spoken about
all the
general
things.
expectations, like what about your personal expectations for 2024?
My personal expectations are very, very simple. Invest more.
So you have money?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. Not really. Invest more. Do more stuff. Like I don't like
Stuff like
bringing people together. Make sure bringing an idea. For me, I don't like working alone.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to business, I like working with a lot of people. So if I have a particular idea, I like say, let's say, if I cannot do this with my own money,
Yeah,
I
tell
want
me the
like,
idea. So
okay, let's say
next
for now, I'm talking about agricultural expectation. I'm going to end. I'm like, I want to put more stuff into agricultural stuff, and after this podcast, I'm going to talk to you about it, so you can come on
okay,
board.
money.
So I can go.
Okay.
So that's just
all
it.
right. Thank you very much. We have come to the. Is this the end?
Not really. There's
This is
something
the
after.
end. Okay.
There's something after.
Okay. So we have come to the end of this session,
Okay.
and please listen, guys, and I really, really hope that you tune in to the next one because it's going to be much more
Yeah.
better and much more interesting than
Sure.
this.
Sure.
So, also follow. It's very important. Follow, subscribe, and listen. And tune in for the next one. It's going to be much more interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you the topics. Listen to us and find out. Bye.
Bye. And have an amazing day ahead.
Yeah,
And please don't forget to share us with your friends too.
Yes, please.
Talk to us about us. Have a community about us. We are trying to build a community online currently, so we want people more who's like to join and stuff like that.
All right.
And next episode is way better than this one, trust me.
Definitely.
Yeah. And once again, thank you for tuning in into 1960.
Post 1960.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right.
We really do
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Bye.
Bye.